Hello, and welcome to Away from Keyboard, the podcast where we talk about creators and builders and what they do online and offline. I'm here with the wonderful people from Rasa Studios. We have Benedict. Say hi, Benedict.
Hello.
What should we call you? Because you have many names.
Call
Many
it
names.
Bez.
Whatever you like. No, apart from that.
Yes.
Okay, not
that
Bez.
one. Bez.
Okay, I'll try. I don't know if I should go for Bez or not. I'll try. I'll
No.
try. Okay, Adam. Hello.
Hello, I'm Adam. Hello. I'm
So what
like
do you do?
waving like I'm on a game show.
I would love to
It's
do a
funny,
game show with
funnily
you.
enough, that's what we're talking about. Aha, I get it.
Oh my
Hello.
god.
Do you want me to tell you want me to say what I do, who I am?
Yeah, what do you
etc.?
do? What do you do at Rasa? What's your role? But also,
Well,
what do you do in real life as well?
I am the Chief Communications Officer, which is a fancy title
Ooh.
to say I help run the business side of things, alongside our director Chelsea. Other than that, I generally do voice acting in the game show. I do play the character Jimmy McGee, the commentator, and yeah, that's basically what I do in Rasa. And in real life, I do. I do IT support, and then in sort of not real life, I do actual Rocket League commentary as well.
Nice. Jeremy, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Jeremy. For Ressa, I was the former art lead, but now I just do builds on the Noxsquad Gameshow server. Yeah, and in real life, I'm a graphic designer.
Oh wow,
So-
awesome.
Yeah.
Love you some graphic design. Okay, Jeremy,
love
your
it.
turn.
Hi, I'm Jamie. You said we can swear, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Ask me your
Uh,
questions.
Started already.
I'm Jamie. How do I describe it?
I think do
I-
everything is the key.
I do a lot of things at Rasa. I program things outside of Minecraft. I program things inside Minecraft. I do some tweeting, and I video edit. That's the other one.
Nice.
Yeah. And my specialist subject is the life and times of Charles Dickens. Sorry,
I
wrong
saw. I was watching the vlogs that came out on the Rasa channel recently, and there were some editor's notes because you didn't know what you were editing. I love that. That was a nice touch.
Get used to that.
Sportscuff says you're also a punching bag. Does that count?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Is that an
Yeah.
official title? Do you get paid extra for that?
No, that just happens.
Oh, it's not very fair.
It's actually no, it is. Sorry,
Oh, for
it's,
Bez.
it's
He
like,
meant Bez. He meant Bez as the punching bag.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm a
bag?
punching bag.
Yeah.
Oh.
Apparently.
Is that your official title as well, or is that
It
not
all
included
makes
on
sense.
the-
I mean,
on
yeah,
the
that makes
CV?
sense. That makes sense.
Nice. And finally, after a long delay, Andy, hello, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'd just like to say, well, I'm Andy, but I'd just like to say the order that this has gone in doesn't really work very well for me because you put me after Jammy, who does
Oh.
everything, and then on the contrast, I do literally nothing. So I'm the voice of Dylan D, but aside from that, I just sort of sit around and pretend that I'm doing things.
That is
and
That's
such
all
a
right.
good point, though.
It works. Jeremy, you're not supposed to agree. You're not supposed to agree. But yes, that's me in terms of Rasa, and then outside of Rasa, I'm a producer for a small games company called Flix Interactive.
Wow, nice.
Okay.
All right. Jesse says, Andy, you helped David. Is that true?
That is my title. Is just David's assistant nowadays. I think. Yeah,
Nice.
I bring the tea to him, and then he does the work.
Nice. So this is who we're with today, chat. If you have any questions throughout the show, just drop them in the chat with !ask at the front, and then I'll be able to pop them up on stream. But I have some questions of my own. So this is only part of Rasa, right? So there's a lot of people under the whole kind of Rasa umbrella. So what kind of people are we missing? How many people are we missing as well?
I mean, total we've got.
50.
What's the official count right now? Is it 24 or is it
I-
25?
It's
25.
something
I
like
don't
that.
remember the
Goodness.
exact number.
It's around. It's in
It
the
was-
mid,
well, hold on.
mid to
There
low
were-
20s.
There were 20 at the meetup that we hosted in the summer, and then another 2, 3
4?
missing.
3?
Yeah,
Because it was
I'm
me,
getting the list up.
Yeah,
Chelsea
that's
saying
right,
22. Thank you, Chelsea.
in game.
23 if we're counting
Yeah,
Jeremy.
so 23.
Nice.
Oh yeah, if you count me. So actually, I'm sort of left Rasa, and I'm working on game show only. But it's a weird relationship. Like, yeah, I'll see you at Christmas, and then I'm out, sort of thing. Like a
Yeah,
nat
you still do
family,
the
I
Christmas
guess.
cards.
Yeah, I still do the Christmas cards, but then I'm out of here the rest of the year.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So yeah, I think that there's a bunch of other people. I mean, in addition to the jobs that we have, I mean, Jeremy said he used to be the art lead. That's mainly Chelsea and Ashley who do a lot of the textures and art these days. We've got people who help run our servers. I know Jeremy said he does video editing, but we've got Aaron who does production as well, as you saw with like the game show from a few weeks ago at Cubed. He does video editing as well. And just generally builders and all sorts. So yeah, we're a mixed bag of very creative and talented people.
Yeah, honestly, I can really tell when I've been part of the production for the game show, and just seeing everybody doing their own thing. Everyone has a job. It's amazing seeing what can come together with it. It's I've never seen anything like it. Genuinely, I have a good question here from Fraser, who says, "What does RASA stand for?"
Actually, it's pronounced racer.
Oh,
No,
not to be confused with the peripheral company.
Should we
Well,
give
that's
the
Razor.
answer or just give a joke answer?
yeah, I mean we can because it's changed over time, really. Because
Yeah.
these days it
It had an
doesn't really
original
actually
name.
stand for anything.
It does have an original name.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So originally on the game show server, there were 2 people, one of whom is still around but doesn't go by that username anymore, and one who is around every so often. They built like a studio in the original build of the factory, and
This is when we
They
were
might
still
have
under
built
the,
it, they
under
might
the
have named
proper
it.
Not Squad, like under Nox Crew, basically. Still part of their
but it was
community.
originally Ranger and Sarah Associates, I think,
Yeah, I think it was that.
and then
Yeah,
over
that's
time,
it.
Good name.
and over time, it's just it doesn't really mean anything these days.
Yeah.
What if they went with like Ranger and Sarah Studios? It'll be RAS. It would be known as RAS.
You should make like a new meaning for it. That's what you need to do. Like make it make it mean
Really
something.
awesome. Sabutio Association.
Rumple and stuff.
We really like
Hey!
table football.
I like Rumple and stuff. That's good.
Don't forget the A
Um,
at the end. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. I've got nothing. I'm creatively drained right now.
Jesse says, "I thought it was Ranger and Sarah Studios. Is that official?"
Well,
yeah,
they'll be
I think
RAS.
it was-
Yeah.
I think
No,
the A
I'm pretty
was-
sure it was the
Oh, true.
Ranger and Sarah Associates was the original title.
Oh wow. I didn't know
The
there
key
was
is
like
that no
lots
one
of-
really knows, Nate. And
No
Yeah.
one really
I like
cares
that,
anymore.
though.
it's like whatever you want it to be.
That's good. I like that.
Which is why these days it just doesn't really stand for anything. It's a defunct
We got in
initialism.
so many fights about what it really meant that we. The
My
only
personal funny
solution
fell
was
off.
that it doesn't mean anything.
Before I even got the chance to point out, because I know Abba has mentioned it in chat, I did change the NASA to my shirt to Rasso with the post-it notes.
Oh, did it fall off?
The bit's already over.
Ah, damn.
Okay, so we have loads of questions coming in. Thank you, chat. So let me go to this tab real quick. A Spookerbee asks, "What are the best projects for a beginner map maker?" And then, what are the best projects for an experienced map maker? Who wants to take this one?
That is a question.
Andy, as a former project manager.
Oh
Um,
yes. Throw it to
for
Andy.
a-
Throw him under the
For a
bus.
beginner map maker, I think the name of the game is small. Our first ever map was called Jungle Royale. Our first
Yeah,
ever
you
map
got
was
a
called
small
Jungle
map.
Royale.
Well done.
It was
I was worried which one you were going for there.
Our first
Was
map
that-
was Crab Cove Carnival. No, wait. there was one
No.
before that.
No.
We've not worked on any
Effectively,
small map, have we?
Jungle Royale was a map of 10 mini games, and we were like, we know mini games. We know we can do mini games really well because we'd done the game show beforehand. And so we were like, let's make a mini game map. And then someone, probably me, but don't tell anyone, was like, how about we put it in an open world? And then someone else was like, yeah, and in that open world we can put collectibles. And it quickly just spiraled out of control into this like crazy how many years was it in the end? Probably 1 to 2 years for Jungle Royale in the end.
I seem to
Jungle
remember
Royale, I think it was
Avon
less than
kept
that.
calling it Rassa's baby because it was 9 months. I
Oh,
think that's
okay.
what
9
it was.
months for Chelsea
fair.
just said in chat.
Oh,
9 months
yes.
for Jungle Royale.
That's fair. Yeah, 'cause
You're
it was, I
thinking
think
you're
we
thinking of
started-
Heistmeisters. That
Heistmeisters.
took more than a year.
I am confusing. I am.
But that was
But-
similarly because
a
it
long
was,
time.
It started off small and then started to get bigger and bigger, and we had to scale it down before the end because we sort of realised we're sort of a bit out of our depth here and it's never going to get done. So I think know your boundaries is probably the tip. From
Yeah,
what
I
we've learned.
think
I
as
think-
well, like something worth considering. Jungle Royale was 10 mini games, but equally, you know, if you're a beginner map maker, start off small. Start off with maybe like 1. Like you don't have to do a big mini game collection as your first project. When you can sort of make 1 game, get a feel for how it works, like mechanically in Minecraft, to make something like that, and then use the things you've learned in that the next time and make another really good thing based on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
I'd
it's
say the same thing. Oh, if
Sorry,
it's
go ahead, Jeremy. I've been
I-
trying to
okay,
talk
I'll
for ages,
go.
but you go ahead.
Okay. I would say, yeah, like I agree with Jamie. Start off small, and then over time start adding onto it. Sort of like, I think a good example is with our factory for a game show. We started with the front face, and then we just started adding the sides and adding the back, and then redoing it. But we had sort of a platform, and we were just building on top of that platform. So start off small, and you'll always have ideas, and you want to add on to it. I can't say if you come in with a really big idea or a really small idea. We always think it's really small, but then it turns out into something really big and we have to scale it down. So just go at your own pace, really. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'll finally get to make the point I've been trying to make. I agree.
So anyway, I think
Shut up, Jamie. So I think just in addition to that is not just try and keep it as small as you can. Stick to what you know initially. Like if you're going out on a project initially, like Jamie or one of you said, I can't remember. I think one of you said this, that the first map that we did in Jungle Royale was that we knew mini games. That's what we were comfortable making. If you're comfortable making something like, I don't know, an adventure game or a PvP game or whatever it may be, stick to that and then try to flesh that out, because that is where you'll gain your confidence in making things. So yeah, stick to what you know initially, then you can start branching out and take the lessons that you learned from the first project and say, hey, I liked what I did here, I don't like what I did here, and apply that to something in the future as well.
That's some good advice. Genuinely, really, really good advice from everybody. Thank you.
wow.
We have some
Anyone
good
else surprised
questions.
by
as
that?
Are
well.
you surprised, Jeremy? We've been at this for a while, you know. I think we
Yeah, I
have
mean-
some wisdom behind us.
Yeah, you guys have so much experience, honestly. I don't blame you. So Alice has a question about how you all met. That's a really good question. Actually, one of the questions in my docs, but I haven't got around to it yet. So how did you guys meet?
Well, initially, we kind of formed off of, I kind of mentioned this earlier, so the Nox crew, they had, they had their community, the Noxsquad, which is obviously where the name of our game show comes from, and the majority of us of Rasa met through that. So, for example, I was actually on the Nox Crew game show way back in 2014-15, and then I just kind of joined the community after that. I know Jamie joined after a live show at some point as well.
Date of the first live show.
Yeah, and then he came into the community, and we all just kind of built from there. And then, we kind of just branched off and did our own thing. But that's how that's how the initial bulk of us met. But then obviously so many people joined along the way.
Nice,
Mm.
nice. And then you met
How
people
did
like
you
me
join
through
us?
Cubed as well.
Yeah, how did you join Mumble?
I played in the first Cubed game show collaboration in 2020, which was 2
Oh, wow.
years ago in a couple of days, almost 2 years ago exactly. And sort of following that, I sort of went, you guys do some cool stuff.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you were
awesome.
at Cubed first.
Yes, yeah. I played
Wow.
in the very first Cubed game show, and Alice said, "I've got this super secret project that's only 3 people to be a part of," and it was me, Alice, and Harrison, who then ended up playing in game show. The rest, they say, is history.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, God.
it's not that dramatic at all. But so I've only been here 18 months, just over 18 months.
That's crazy
Only.
because you do like a lot of high tier stuff. Like you were the vision mixer for the last game show, weren't you, or something?
I was the show caller, but yes, absolutely.
Chelsea, thank you for the prime, by the way. I appreciate that. Enjoy your emotes. Chelsea asks, what about Jeremy's story?
All right. Now time to think about when I joined. So basically when Rasa was born, I actually didn't know about it, but I wanted to. Oh yeah. So I followed Noxsquad along with their game show. I remember watching Adam and Spud. No. And then
He wasn't on it.
No, I know, but he deserves some credit. I don't know. He's just been sitting there.
I think he's the owner of the one of 2 ungentleman shirts in the world.
Yeah, exactly. No.
That's great.
Anyways, so where was I going? Yes, so I watched Game Show, and at one point I wanted to join the Noxsquad, but I was like 12. I'm like, oh, everyone's probably like older than me, so I didn't join then. But when Noxsquad were doing their live shows again for Game Show, just out of the blue, I'm like, oh, I want to see if they still have that Noxsquad server up and going. So I wrote in like the Noxsquad chat saying, hey, like, is the server still up? And they're like, oh, it's now a private server under a name called Rasa. I'm like, Rasa, okay. It was actually
What a dumb name.
What
What does that even stand for?
it was actually Luke. It was Luke that was running, and I'm like, okay. So I did I signed up under a building application. I can't even speak. And then after like a month of my trial, they're like, okay, yeah, you're a Rasa member now. I'm like, cool. And then we went into live 4. I remember then. And it was a very different time in Rasa at that time. I don't know if we want to talk about it, but yeah.
If you want to, go ahead. If you have any stories, just go ahead and jump in.
Life 4 is the one where we changed the whole factory, isn't it?
God.
So yeah, live 4 is when
One
we
of
changed the
several.
factory from the old one to the new one.
Remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, big plans, and not an understanding of how long it was going to take.
The
Or how
first
difficult.
renovation to the factory, let's say. The first of many.
By the way,
But,
thank you for all the
um,
subscriptions in chat, by the way. Stuart A, Fraser, Sportscar, thank you all so much for the subs. There's, I think, probably one more sub until level 2 on the hype train. Thank you.
I think
Sorry,
if we're
continue.
on this train, I'll just talk about what Rasa was then. We won't go into much detail because it's on me. Oh, there we go, Adam.
Oh, he's back.
I think there are some things that should not be named, but basically when I joined, I was on trial and I had very little power then, and I was only a builder. And basically when it came to live shows, it was like very
Sorry, I highlighted you there. I just put you.
Right.
Like, where are we?
You were doing your own little so I thought I'd
I don't like
highlight
this
you. I'll put you back. I'll put you back.
That's all good.
Hands up.
I was just
hands up.
surprised. But like it was very strict with how Game Show worked. Like no one was allowed in the team speak channels. It was only people who had to be there. It was run by a different system. Like we had spirit
This is
guides.
during live shows themselves, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
TeamSpeak.
during live shows themselves. Like very limited people on TeamSpeak, very limited people on the servers. And just like how things are run, we had spirit guides. not like what we have now. And Chelsea wasn't leading at this point. She was actually the artist. And then over time, a lot of us started getting really angry with the system because it was dumb. I remember like having chats with Stu saying, "Oh, I don't like the Spirit Guide system. It's so weird. Like, why don't we just go with like an actual corporate system? We have a CEO and everything." And then after a while, the person who was sort of leading Spirit Guide system, he left. I don't know the story behind it, and I don't want to know the story. And then we elected Chelsea as our leader, and then we all serve her. But yes,
Glory be our leader.
Yes, glory be our leader.
We're not allowed to say anything
and
bad
I
about
think-
her, otherwise she'll stab us in the back after this.
Oh, absolutely. You can't say anything bad about Chelsea. You get bad luck.
Half of the
Boy.
company is
Send
right here.
help.
It has improved so much since
And
Chelsea
yet,
came
that
along.
half of the company just praised our leader
Yeah.
rather than himself.
I think just because, it was sort of like a coup. That was so weird. But yes. And then after that, we thought it would be a good idea to start season 1. And that was a blast. And also, I mean, anyone can join the TeamSpeak channels, but you had to be quiet when Jamie did the countdowns, I think. Yeah.
that's the
And
main
that's
thing.
how
We've le-
Jeremy joined Rasa.
That's
That's how I joined Rasa. I just discussed
Brilliant.
the whole entire Rasa coup.
perfect.
It seems to be a thing of people joining Rasa right when everything's happening. I think Sword's the most recent member to join Rasa. I think they joined just before we did the last game show, things like that. I know when I joined, I sort of applied under the game show sort of saying I wanted to come and do game show, and then as soon as I was in, Chelsea went, right, we're not doing game show anymore. We've got this big map called Crab Cove Carnival we're working on, and we start on that right now.
Nice.
So, right in at the deep end.
Yeah. I just saw Chelsea's comment. You missed out the part where I made you artists because I couldn't do the season 1 logos. That is a great point. So I was a builder, and I only did builds on the server. And then one day we filmed a bit of season 1. I can't remember, or was it the whole thing? I really can't remember. But Chelsea was really struggling doing the team logos because we did them after the filming for some reason, and after we put the game logos, I think. And she was really struggling with the game logos. So I was, I was like 16 at the time, and I took 1 year of a graphic design class, and I've used Photoshop. I'm like, oh yeah, I might give it a go. So I put things together and I posted in the Slack, like, how does this look? And Chelsea's like, oh my goodness, can you do all of the logos now? I'm like, sure. So I made my way down the logos. I think the one that I struggled with most was Hot Problems for some reason, because their in-game logo was weird, sort of a mess. So I'm like, how do I make this look good?
Is that the one that was a hat and chilies?
Oh yeah, remember that.
At one point, there were like 2 skeletons that popped over the hat and did chilies and all sorts. It was weird. Yes, Chelsea, you are single-handedly responsible for my career. At one point, I wanted to be like a filmmaker or something, do movies. But then after this, it sort of sparked my graphic design career. So thank you, Chelsea. And then from that point on, I was sort of the head graphic designer for everything that sort of, not everything, but most things visual out of Rasa I worked on. So even for Jungle Royale, I did like the cover, and game show, I remade the logo. I did a lot of things, and then eventually I stepped down because it was a lot of work and sometimes really stressful. So I just stuck to building on game show. But yeah,
I mean, basically what happens in Rasa is if you show promise in one thing, you get made to do that thing over and over again, and you're the person who will do that thing.
Yeah, so don't show promise, otherwise you'll have to do it for the rest of your life.
Just don't be skilled in something, and then you won't have to do anything, Andy.
You can be like Andy, yeah.
It's so true. It is so true.
Okay, so
What's that? You can speak words? Commentate.
You know the English language? Jeez.
You don't even need to have a mic.
So you guys do live shows, but you also do like pre-recorded game shows. Cyberchamp asks, how different is it to hosting a live show compared to a taped show like 101 to Leave Mind Show?
Jungle.
I've experienced Jungle firsthand.
So I would say, for the most part, we run them pretty similarly. So obviously, so I was talking about 101 Ways to Leave a Mind Show. The only real difference is that if we need to, we can retake something.
Yeah.
To like cover over a fluffed line somewhere that was like critically important or something. So with Mind Show, it was like if Danny messes up reading out some of the answers, we can retake that. And because it's Minecraft, you can do it really seamlessly because you can't, there's not body, limbs, and everything to like try to match the position of. At the expense, as Chelsea mentions in the chat, that you then have to edit it.
Yeah.
But then you've got to take into account when we do a live show the technical capabilities that we have. I mean, for example, the last game show that we did for Cubes, we've got AWS cloud computers running the entirety of our in-game camera setup, all feeding to Aaron, who's then processing that in vMix and broadcasting it out. So there are trade-offs between doing something live and doing something pre-recorded. Live, it's just done and dusted. I would say there's a hell of a lot more planning that goes into, like, just taking game show as an example. I would say there's a hell of a lot more planning that goes into a live show compared to a pre-recorded show. But I think that's just trying to get people coordinated and making sure everyone's on the same page. And like Jamie said, if something goes wrong in a pre-recorded show, that's fine. We can just edit around that and retake it and what have you. So there's pros and cons to both. But I think these days, at least for game show, we like doing them live because it's the thrill of esporting competition. It's technically an esport, isn't it? Kind of.
I'd say so.
Minecraft esports. Anybody?
You know better than anyone here.
Put that on my Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I would say pre-recorded shows are a lot more chill. Like, you can stuff up and then you can re-record it again. And also it requires less people, as Chelsea just wrote in the chat. Why isn't Chelsea here? She's
ill.
She's ill, unfortunately.
She's ill.
Yeah.
Bless you, Chelsea. But yeah, like Mind Show, it started off like, hey, like, should we just record this? So people who could record on their computer just recorded it, and we didn't think it was going to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be a series. We just like, let's just have fun.
Game night, didn't it?
Yeah,
it was just a game night.
Like an idea that Danny had, and he wanted to play.
It was originally a game night, and Danny's like, hey, I made this. Who wants to play it one night? I'm like, cool. So we hopped on, and then people were like, should we record this? I'm like, yeah, let's just record it and have fun. And then that just sparked a series out of it. And out of just doing it informally, we sort of propped up like, some roles here and there just to make it more streamlined along with our other productions. So, you had people like Aaron around just making sure that everything's right. And, people doing redstone, and we had other builders come on to build some maps. And then eventually we thought we'd move it to its own server because it was getting a bit big for the game show server, and we did a revamp and we changed everything and had more team on it. So like, I think that's for anyone who wants to start out a show. Like, you just start off small and just invite some friends on to record. Hey, like, let's just record this for fun. And then eventually it just turns into something really big. You don't need a whole team behind you to start off a show. You just need an idea with some people who can record on their computer.
Yeah, for sure. I guess while we're on the topic of the complexity of creating a live show or a pre-recorded show, one of the big questions I wanted to ask was, has anything gone completely wrong?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear the story.
Jamie, do you want to take this one?
I can. I'm just trying to remember because Rumpel wasn't there, so Rumpel might have a
I'm thinking about the failed recording.
recording.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the failed recording?
Oh,
one?
yeah.
Or are you
I was talking about another one, but that's
Okay.
No,
Rumple
but Bez
wasn't here
wasn't
for
here
the
when
failed
we did the
recording.
fail. That was
Exactly.
like
No, you
that
talk-
was
you talk about that one.
pre-recorded
You-
season 1.
It's a more interesting story.
So,
Go with that.
You can explain multiple if you'd like to. The more the merrier.
so season 1. Cast your minds back to the small innocent year of 2018.
It was 18 we
18.
recorded it.
18 record, 19 release. Yeah. So the way that Game Show Season 1 works is there are 8 teams in a tournament bracket such that essentially you pair them up and then the winners of those go against each other and then the winners of those are in the final. So you've got 7 pairings and matchups you need to do. So we make it through the first 4 without an issue. And bear in mind, that's 4 full-on like sets of preparation, testing, and then a recording at the end of it. And these are interleaved as well. Like we test games long before they actually get played. And then we get to matchup 5, which was the Anonymous Agency versus Hot Problems. Yeah. And it all goes a bit wrong.
How wrong did it go?
Count with me.
Oh gosh.
Jerry couldn't make it to this particular recording. So Andy was a stand-in host, pretending to be his intern.
Yeah,
I think that was
that
it.
was
Yeah.
the idea.
that was the idea.
So okay, Andy can't. Andy's now host. Jerry can't make it.
Well, I thought you were naming issues here, Jamie. That's not.
But no. So it
That's
was
an improvement.
fine. It was fine, but it was something we were willing to work with. But it was an
There's
issue
continuity.
of availability, and
Careful
we
with
had
your
to
words.
come up with this whole idea of why you were there. 2. The first game that the Dome picks is Collect Floor. Yeah,
Yeah,
Collect Floor.
Big issue.
Collect Floor is
David.
the second game jam game that we made, Dwitty and I. So we had 12 hours to make this game live on stream. And in the time since we'd made it to the time that we were running it as a game, we did not really take into account what would happen in the event of a tie. Because that game is purely based on 2 separate boards that are being scored at the end. So there is a chance that both teams just get the same score. And we
I
haven't thought
think
what
I
happened.
think David was he was pretty sure that because of the nature of Collect Floor,
and
it
the
was
rules that it had.
extremely unlikely that there would be a tie. I think that's
the
the
game-
conclusion that he came to.
So the game tied. Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. Chelsea has corrected me. It was slightly different order. That did happen. That was the straw that broke the camel's back of this recording.
Mhm.
So that was actually the 3rd game we played. The first game we played was Clock Tower. Clock Tower is a pyramid/Atlantis style 2D discovery exploration type game. You go through a maze, 2D maze, but you're looking at it from the side, so you can go up and down, and you can go left and right, but you can't go forwards and backwards. And there are a set of doors that are controlled from the outside. Clock Tower broke or something. I can't remember the exact scenario that happened, but it didn't work.
Oh dear.
And I think it didn't work before we even sent the teams in properly. They didn't really get to play it or something.
Yeah, I don't think we abandoned that game relatively quickly. from what I
So
remember.
we abandoned it, rigged it off the dome, but reset the dome to look like it was a fresh start. Send them back into the dome, rerun the reveal. It chooses sprint. Sprint works. And then go to try to play game 2. These are best of 3, mind. Go to try to play game 3, collect floor, ties. And at that point, I think we cut our losses. And we
At this
apologized to the
point,
contestants because, these are 6 people with their own lives, their own availability.
I think at
besides
this
the
point
fact
it
that we're all
had
there.
been several hours into the recording, like maybe
It was a good
2 or
couple of
3
hours.
hours, I want to say.
God.
Plus at this point, I
to-
was actually a camera for this recording as well. I was recording, but I had to leave. I think I had to leave like halfway through collect floor as well, or right at the end. I managed to hang on, but then I was gone. So I didn't know that the actual recording had just been scrapped after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
Essentially,
it was I don't want to say comedy of errors because that's a bit too harsh, but
I
just
mean, it's not
everything
inaccurate.
everything was just a bit haywire.
It was like, in isolation, any of these things is not a game change. Like, it doesn't kill everything. But when you have enough of them that start to stack up, it's like, it's genuinely going to be less effort and work and less of a, I can swear, less of a clusterfuck if we cut our losses here, take a day to think about what we're doing, and reschedule this recording. So what we ended up doing was, exactly that. We cut our losses, apologized to the contestants for their time, and rescheduled for another time. Unfortunately, that other time was after the point that we had organized to film the other matchup in the semi-finals. So we ended up having to run that matchup first. That was, what was it? It was Billy's team versus Gijs' team. Not royalties, please. High Ground. High Ground versus Salty Sailors. So we ended up running that one. And then I think we had to be very careful with what we let the dome choose, because the dome had to have sprint on it, because we'd realized sprint went fine, we can use sprint. And yeah, I remember just having to be very careful with what we let the dome choose. And we had to rig on collect floor, because we couldn't let them go back to it. Like, if we just left it, there was a chance, because of how many games we had working and remaining, that it would have to go in the finals or something, at which point one team would have an advantage. So we had to get it done with the others, which is why episode 12 is 12. Episode 12 of season 1 was collect floor.
Yeah, and for context, for those who might not know, games that are on the dome that weren't chosen carry over into the next show. So like you said, we had to get collect floor out of there, so the teams who had the failed recording couldn't play that and have an advantage.
Yeah.
But also
And
rig
then-
off sprint, so we could say that was picked for the next one, even though it had already been played.
The way I like to
So-
look at it is that every game that was played in season 1 was legitimately chosen by the chickens. It's just in that one case, maybe not in the recording you see. Yeah, that was season 1's biggest sort of like panic, I think. Everything
Fair
else
enough.
kind
And
of went
Jungle.
okay.
Okay, so when we did the
That was the
re-recording,
issue with
yeah, when we did the re-recording, so the contestants like thought that we were using the previous failed recording. I remember because I was there. So they kept bringing it up like, oh yeah, I've been here before. Like, oh, we did this again. This is so familiar. So we had to hop in the chat saying, yeah, no, you haven't been here before. Just pretend that you don't remember anything. And we're just going to re-record it like it's all brand new. And then we said like, just, and then we did, what did we do? Like they already played a game and we thought we'd use it. I think
we used Sprint.
Yeah, we used Sprint. So so we did the whole dome reveal and then like, oh yeah, we played Sprint. So we're not going to do Sprint. And then we came in from there. And I'm pretty sure that was also the time we played Jungle. Am I right or am I wrong? Yeah.
So that
that was
it's like pickup recording there.
Yeah.
The actual proper matchup 6. We sent them into Sprint. We brought them straight back out of Sprint so they could do their interview as if they had just played Sprint. And then I can't remember what the other game is that they played. They played one before before Jungle.
Chelsea's given us the game list.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at it because it's a challenge. Sprint episode.
Clock Tower by looks of things.
Oh, they did go and play Clock Tower.
Yeah, we fixed it by then.
Oh, wicked. And then Jungle.
Oh, and that's when they sent in. Wait, is that the one that they sent in the colorblind player? No, that was Atlantis.
No, that was Atlantis.
Oh yeah.
So for context as well, Jungle was the longest game in Noxsquad Gameshow history. It was best of 3, just like it's like a 2D PvP game. You got bows and arrows and swords to fight each other. You know, best of 3 matchup wins first team to eliminate the other. The first 2 rounds go by a breeze. Everything's good, and then the third and final round starts. And one team just hides up a tree in like a treehouse bit on top of a roof, and it's an entire stalemate for, I think the entire length of like all the rounds was about 50 minutes from start to finish, and these games are designed to last about 10 minutes or so.
Jesus.
And because one team, I think it must have been down to like 2v2 at this point. I can't really remember, but I think 1 or 2 people had been eliminated at that point, so it was down to like the last couple of people, and they just kind of hid up a tree and said, "I don't want to fight. If I don't lose, I also win." So it was just like that.
It was an
hour.
Unfortunate like part of the map where hiding in that area. They could peek out a little and had really good visibility on where the only place that they could be attacked from. Yeah, it was an unfortunate oversight, which I think we went and fixed pretty soon.
Yeah,
the entire footage uncut is available on our YouTube channel right now. It's in the description of that episode. In the episode we had to cut it down because we were not showing the entire thing.
I sort of feel bad because, like, well, it's not my game, but it's Grant's game, and normally we'd build together. And we're just sitting in that call, like, oh, what if we were to just change something right now just to keep it moving? And we're like, no, we can't do anything. So we actually got Conrad, the Halbot, to come and say, hey, move it or something. We just wanted them to move because it was just so boring. We were just sitting there for hours, and we were like hitting midnight, and then it was someone's birthday, and we're like, oh no, happy birthday. This is your birthday present. And we're just like, oh, this is not going well. I'm pretty sure it was like 2 people hiding behind a tree and just the other team just trying to shoot them down. But it was a long morning for me. I was actually almost getting into lunchtime. I'm like, I haven't had breakfast and I need to have lunch.
For the record, by the way, we put timestamps on that full video. So the first round was about 10 minutes. The second round was 5 minutes. And the third round was the remaining 38 minutes.
Yeah,
37.
40 minutes.
And
like we said, those games are designed to last about 10 minutes or so.
I love that.
5 times the length.
this was also the thing, is that both teams, like, they were in the semi-finals. Winning this game would put them through to the finals. So, like, both teams really wanted to win.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
These things happen, though. And now, Rumpel, what was your story again?
Yeah, what was your story?
It wasn't really a story. It was more the fact that he said, "Does anything go wrong?" And I just said yes, because I was going to bring up some sort of philosophical thing about how, you know, particularly when doing live shows, things always go wrong. But Jamie does mention in the Twitch chat, you know, lag during Live 8, and I think that's the big distinction between doing the pre-recorded shows and doing the live shows. Like that scratch recording, if that had happened during a live show, you know, you wouldn't have been able to get around that. You would have had to roll with it. And you know, that really long game, you would have just seen that unedited. And I think there was a show since, I think it was either Live 8 or Live 9, where there was a game that looked like it could have gone on forever, and we had to send in one of the help bots to go, just come on, get to it.
Do you know what that was, Rumpel?
Yeah.
It was Jungle.
Oh, was it Jungle
Was
again?
it Jungle on a live show?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
It's-
That would have been Live 8 then.
This is something that if you go and watch the YouTube VOD, you will not hear, but it is in the original Twitch version. Is that there's a really unfortunate moment where either Andy, it was Nath, because this is the one that you had come in to guest commentate on.
Yes.
And you had said something on the lines of, "Let's listen into the yellow team."
Oh no.
And the audio cut over to the yellow team, and bless, because Caffeine, Conrad, our wonderful yellow help bot. When you're in those TeamSpeak channels, you don't know by design when you're on stream.
Yeah.
You can't hear the message saying, you know, a user's been moved, because it's not coming through there. But he said something on the lines of, "I have been told to encourage you to fight." It's the first thing
Oh my
that was
God.
heard when the audio went in.
I had no idea. I've watched those videos back. I had no idea that happened. I'll have to go back and look.
Because I was luckily able to just completely mute out that bit of audio and replace it with the music in the background, because no
Damn.
one else was talking. But
That would have been funny.
yeah.
And I don't remember it, and I was there.
I love that.
Yeah.
This is only
It's one
a
of those
year
things
ago,
that I
so
only
that's
remember
not
because
good.
I edited
Yeah.
it a few months ago.
Yeah, I watching back on that one first or the second cubed Noxsquad game show. You could tell I was very nervous to say anything. Looking back, I just didn't really say much when I was a guest commentator because I was too scared. I didn't know the games very well, and that was my own fault. But it was a good time, and it was good to be in there. But no, I was very nervous.
That's an interesting point to bring up, because normally when we do our live shows, we normally do a rehearsal show before it. And our most recent one, we didn't have Adam there. We only had Andy and Jerry. So poor Andy, he didn't really have much confidence to talk because he didn't know what to say. Normally, like, it's sort of like a brother relationship they both have. Like, one feeds the other and they bounce off each other. But also, like, yeah, so Andy didn't have anyone to bounce off of. And normally Adam's the one that starts it. So we're in this rehearsal and we're like, Andy doesn't know what to say. We're just like sort of like, oh no, Andy. But then eventually, as the show went on and him and Jerry, you know, they finally started, you know, feeding the conversation, and then the show felt like it was starting. Like, oh yeah, this is good. But it's great that we have rehearsals just in case something like that happens. Then they'll be ready for when the day happens. I guess. I don't know, Andy, do you want to feed in? This is about you.
I appreciate the call out, frankly, Jeremy. I like the fact that it's, you know, it's a rehearsal, so no one really cares. But we're gonna feel like the real thing.
Anything goes at a rehearsal. Sometimes, like back in the day, when we did rehearsals, we'd take like long breaks because the techs are trying to figure out something, or it's a producing end. I remember this time where we were waiting for what was it? What's that game called? Journey to Puzzle Tower. we were waiting for that game to start, and I absolutely love looking at the recording for the rehearsal because it's absolutely hilarious. We were waiting for so long. We were wondering like, what's happening? Why haven't we started? We were waiting in that room for like 30-40 minutes. And so we're all just joking around, and a lot of weird roleplay went down. It was it was hilarious. It's all I can
Nice.
remember. And then at one point, Adam like broke the floor and someone fell down the map and died, and we were just cracking up laughing. But eventually, you know, like it's. I love the rehearsals whenever we do a game show or whatever, because anything goes. Same thing when we did Mind Show. Like when we started making it a bit more professionally, we did rehearsals beforehand, and it was a lot of fun, especially you know, the times when we went into like the new server and we did the rehearsals. We didn't have Danny as the host, so we'd have like people guest hosting, and they're like learning how to do things, and those are like absolutely hilarious. But we'll never release those. But if you ever join Rasa, you'll witness the rehearsal nights.
They're sealed
Yeah.
off in the Rasa Studios vault.
I think
A little
it's
bit more in the Rasta
adds-
Studios bin.
I think Aaron
The
still
bin
has the
room.
recording sitting somewhere, so you can watch them.
Somewhere, probably.
But they're like an hour or 2 hours more longer than the actual show.
It goes back to sort of how sort of game show has evolved. Now that there's so much going on and it's far more sort of technologically advanced than it used to be, it requires more people to run. So it becomes an availability thing. You know, go back to the when Andy had to fill because Adam wasn't there. You know, trying to get 20 people's schedules to match up for both a live show and a dress rehearsal, you know, can be a pain because you've got, you know, 2 commentators, a host, you've got 4 cameras, vision mixer, show caller, replay operator, 4 techs, live director, all these people running the show, and they are all equally important. So it's sort of trying to balance that of do we make game show more advanced, or you know, or how do we make it more advanced without needing more people to be available? Which is why Jammy has developed things such as Visive. Do you want? Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Oh,
No, so I was going to say the overlay stuff.
Yes, the
Yeah.
overlay system. I don't know whether you want to talk about that.
I mean,
If
I
you want to,
can.
go ahead.
I'm not sure if anyone's interested.
I want to hear it. I love
He's
to hear
answered
about
the
what the
question.
ins
We're
and outs.
clearly interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Let's hear it.
Essentially, if you go back and look at any of the YouTube releases, there are graphics on the screen. And that goes back to the Noxsquad Gameshow, where there were graphics for every game to relay things about a game state. You know, who's alive, how many points are there, what's the current time remaining and stuff. And we've always shown that in game, because some of these things you need to be able to like track it for mechanics, like High Noon, for instance. You need to know in like the game logic, well, shit, how many people are still alive, because if 3 people have died on the blue team, the yellow team has just won. So this information is there in game, but we've never been able to do anything with it. For all of the graphics, it's been a case of just looking at the screen and then copying whatever was there. So for something like Shoot 'em All Around, yeah, that's how it was. Shoot 'em All Around, there's a sidebar like on the screen in the middle of one side on the screen. On Minecraft, you've got the sidebar. So we'd just always do our graphics so that it goes there, and the stream sees the Minecraft thing. But when we do it on YouTube, we put a thing over the top. In 2019, I want to say, at some point, I can't remember exactly when, I created a thing so that we could have a live overlay. So at the top of the screen, it would show while you're in the dome, how many games have been won, best of 3, and the team names. And then last year, a number of people, including I think Aaron and Stuart, asked if we could have like during the games as well. So I spent a year writing a system to basically get the games to tell the overlay what is going on. And that's why in Live 9, when you were watching live on stream, you were able to see things about the game state. So Shoot Shoot Sewer had the actual score graphic on screen. I can't remember off the top of my head what else was played that had a graphic.
There was a one where both teams had to take over points. I can't remember the name of it.
Aztakers.
That's the one.
Aztakers. So Aztakers had the thing in the corner that's like, what's the current point being contested, who's won each point, and the time remaining on the clock for each team. So basically, we can now get data out of Minecraft and into an overlay that we show on the stream in order to make the experience better for the live viewers, but also to make my job a lot easier in the edit. Because it would take a good couple of weeks to, go through all of the games that were played in the stream and do those graphics.
Yeah.
Not from it's difficult, but from okay, this is going to take me a couple of hours. I don't want to do more than one of these a day, sort of thing. Potentially. Yeah, live
I like
graphics.
to say that before that, I came up with this prototype on how we could potentially. This is before I think Jamie did this. How we could do it in game, and I made this really cool prototype where it uses I think it's the toolbar hotbar, and you can change things and put things in there, and then it would appear like the timer inside the game without having to put in a custom client or anything. And Stu and I really wanted to work on it for the next shows, but it required a lot of coding, and we didn't think it was really deemed ready, and it was a little bit finicky because we had to extract the textures and downscale it, put it back in the game, and position it. It was very finicky, as in this new system that we have, we just reuse assets that we already have and put them in. It's a lot easier, and it means that if we were to add new games, you can just make up a graphic and put it in without having to go through this whole system and putting it in the game. However, maybe one day, I don't know. It was a really cool system, but it was just very difficult to code around. But yeah, that's how we led to this.
That's amazing. I love how many little the attention to detail and stuff like that is something I really respect out of Rasa. There's so much love and passion that goes into everything, whether it's the music, the lore, the inside jokes, how things are presented. It's all everything you do is meticulously crafted and put together, and I love that. I respect it so much, and it's really inspiring, genuinely.
Oh, thank you.
I think it comes back to
Thank
the
you.
fact
If we can
You make
spend
it
the
sound
rest
like a
of
really. Sorry.
Spend the rest of the podcast just
Go on.
praising us. That would be
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good for
I
you
mean,
guys.
I do respect all of you, genuinely. You're very
Please
talented at
just
what you
inflate
do.
my ego more. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make it sound like we're really high up professionals, but most of the time we're in Slack or we're in a TeamSpeak call. And we're wouldn't it be cool if we did this? And we go and just do it, and that's how it is usually. We're just
Well,
what
that's
if we
the
were to
beauty
do
of
that?
it. You have the power to make it, and together all of you makes amazing stuff.
That's what I was going
And
to
if
say
you-
is that
Go
we're
on.
all doing this because we like doing it and we enjoy it. It's not our full-time jobs or anything. So it is quite a lot of game show for very many of us is this sort of, we call it a passion project because we do it because we love it, and I think that's what makes it so special and why it's constantly evolving is because we're doing these things because we want to try and let's try this because it could be cool to work on, and that just in turn makes the show and our projects better.
Yeah, I think it goes for our marketplace stuff as well, and probably like you're alluding to there, Bez, and that we really output to the world. It's not because we have to do it; it's because it's something we want to do, and I think that is the beautiful thing about Rasa is that we aren't being the things at least the things that we at least start on we want to do. Maybe a year into doing Heistmeisters. Sorry, Andy.
There was a point in the development of Heistmeisters. I think it was about 6 months in, maybe. It was after the first Christmas
The
But-
first Christmas that it
But,
First Christmas of Heistmeister's development. I love that.
progress had plateaued. And without going into too much detail, because I'm not sure how much detail we really want to go into about, something like Heistmeisters.
As
least
little
at this-
detail as possible.
At least at this level. It's the way that Heistmeisters sort of works is that there's a load of different room types, essentially. So you might have a room that's a corridor, you might have a room that's a staircase, you might have a room with a dinosaur in it, but we needed to take all of the builds that we'd made and put them into the system so that the system knew how to generate your museums that you're playing in. And I remember at some point after the first Christmas, everyone had started working on Gameshow, because I think this is in the lead up to Live 7, which happened in about April on our 5th anniversary of Gameshow. And for reasons I don't quite remember nor want to remember, I was stubbornly keeping on working on Heistmeisters instead of moving over to Gameshow. And yeah, that was just trying to get a room sorted each day. And I was like, yeah, I'm the only person working on this project. This is fun.
Yeah.
Fair.
And then
Yeah,
everyone
I
came
think
back.
we've got better at splitting our time and
Mm.
having project focus. Especially in the last year or so, we've gotten better at knowing what to work on and when things need to be done by.
Yeah, it's always been a real struggle. I remember, especially when we first worked on Jungle Royale, since working on a map was very different then, it was really difficult just to do anything really. I'm used to doing this on Game Show, but on the map, what do I work on? So a lot of people just start picking up different jobs and different things that people wouldn't normally do with the map. And then all of a sudden when Game Show would hit, some people were like, oh, but I'm working on the map. I don't want to work on Game Show. So then we have people missing out jobs, and we'll just go back and forth between projects. And once Game Show was done, then we'll go back to the map and we'll keep going back and forth. But I think over time, over doing that, we just got used to, oh yeah, Game Show's around. That means I should probably start working on builds now, or start redstoning this, or whatever you had to do, and leave the map behind until Game Show's done, and then we'll go back and we'll continue doing our work on whatever we're working on at that time. But it was a big learning curve because they're just two really different things. I remember because out of working on Game Show and on Jungle Royale, I moved into working into Blockworks, which is a larger Minecraft company. So I learned how to model and all that. So when we, well, thanks, Adam. But
I'm too good for Rasta now. Oh no,
Good
my
for
name's
Rasta,
Jeremy. Oh, look at me, my Blockworks.
ooh, but
See,
so
I thought,
would,
I thought that he said he learned how to model. I thought he was going down catwalks. That would be very different.
Yes,
What works is now
I
a
was all of
fashion
the
brand.
characters just walking around Jungle Royale. No, but I took that skill and that knowledge to help the teams with their maps. So I did a lot of boot camps with our artists to learn how to model. So when they went into other maps, they could do the modeling instead of me doing all the art. As well as we did building workshops, and I know that David and Stu, they hosted game mechanic workshops and all sorts. But yeah, it's a lot of just finding resources and teaching other people, and that's how we got around maps. And then that sort of carried over to Game Show as well. Oh, we did that in our maps, why don't we just move it on to Game Show? So I started doing models around the Game Show to add more lore to the map and all sorts of things. But they both started influencing each other, which I thought was really cool. Yeah.
Nice. So Chelsea has asked a really good question. I spent the last few minutes thinking
Steady
about
on.
it, but it's really tough. She asks, Nath, as an outsider, what's it about Rasa that intrigues you / you'd like to know more about? I mean, that's kind of the point of the podcast, but I don't really know.
I think that's
Well,
Thank
it's
you,
unfair.
Chelsea,
one
for,
thing.
for
It's a good
summarizing
question,
what
though.
this entire show is about.
I wasn't
Welcome to
like,
the
genuinely,
podcast. 70 minutes in.
I'm not sure. I have a lot of burning questions, and I didn't have time to make many notes.
Fire.
I don't know. I guess one thing I do want to quickly ask is how long has Rasa been going for? When did it begin? We know how it began.
Well,
but when did it
as
begin?
as I can show
Sorry.
from my commemorative coin, if it will focus, 2017.
Focus that man.
Oh
There
wow.
you go. 2017 is when
So
we
not long then.
officially-
It sounds from what you've achieved. It
Sorry.
sounds like you've been around for much longer.
Yeah.
lot.
By the way, this coin, we got these made for well, it's our five-year anniversary this year, obviously, and then we got given these at the meetup. It's nice. It's in a wee case. It's got everyone's names on the back. If it'll focus again,
Aw.
there we go. It's cool.
Nice.
I believe you've got
Start the
everywhere.
fire.
I mean, technically that is a spoiler for the vlog, but
I mean,
but
was only
I mean, we
a month
tweeted it out
ago.
anyway, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think Chelsea sums it up well in the chat as well. Officially, that's how long Rasa has been going, but we've been making stuff since 2015, really, which was post Noxsquad Gameshow when sort of the majority. Well, I would say it's in the majority. Like I would say the original Rasa members really sort of started coming together and talking to each other on the regular and making stuff pretty much since then. I'm pretty sure like the first, I would proffer to say the first thing that we ever made was, well, it was either because we had, I think someone mentioned the build server. I think it was you, Jeremy, mentioned the build server that we had. It was like a public sort of community build server for the Noxsquad, being the community back then. I think we made some. I'm pretty sure it was CJ actually. CJ and I want to say, oh god, who was it? Blue Tiger Man. I remember that was the skin he had. That's
Shane.
really buggy. Shane, thank you, Jamie. They
Imagine
made
not remembering.
imagine. But the two of them made their own version of the dome, the Decision Dome for the Noxsquad Gameshow, and then I think from there people were like, oh, what if I built that game, and then that's how Gameshow started spawning. But I would say the
first one, didn't he?
Say again.
Did Redstone the first one, didn't he?
Possibly. I can't really remember all that, but like I remember that was
I
happening.
mean, I don't say. I say
I
was
wasn't.
there.
I wasn't particularly getting involved with it at that time because I
Hmm.
thought, okay, these people are crazy. What the hell are they doing? Look where we are now. But the thing I remember us doing, like the first quote unquote big thing, was the survival server for the Noxsquad as well. We made a story in that because it was a roleplay
no.
server at the end of the day. And at this point, Jamie was on the team, and
Mm-hmm.
we kind of made a story for Noxsite Stefan to follow on stream, and we made a whole thing around it, and yeah, I think that was the first sort of big creative thing that we did as a well, I say as a team. Like it was only like maybe a few people who were involved with it. But yeah, I think that's the first thing we did creatively.
We
as
roped
as
a lot
unit.
of people in though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We
Yeah.
you guys roped a lot of people in to do that. But yeah, that was probably the first big thing that we did back then, and that was like 2015, 2016, somewhere around then.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
it ended on Avon's birthday in 2016. I remember
It's so funny just
we made him stream on his birthday. I don't think he was amazingly impressed by that, but
it's just so funny looking back at like, you know, how we all started. I remember just like sitting in meetings, we were like, oh, let's not be like Noxsquad, like especially when we're doing game show, like we're gonna complete season 1, we're not gonna be like Noxsquad and not do a community matchup and all that. And then we didn't literally copy them, but we said we're not gonna do marketplace, we're gonna keep doing game show, we're not gonna be like them. And little did you know, we joined marketplace. Just
what
like
I'm saying
them.
is, look out
Yeah.
for the Rasa Studios BTS YouTube collab coming in a few years.
Look how we're gonna come out with another event style like MC Championship, and it's gonna be a lot better.
Noxsquad Championship.
NS Championship.
Hell yeah. Amazing.
Oh, and we're coming out with our own public server. What else are we gonna come out with? But I just found it so amusing because
Rasa Factory.
yeah, because like Nox Crew, they when they started, they had like a whole role play thing that they started out with, and same thing with us. We did our own role play thing on the Nox Crew servers, and they're a lot of fun. I miss those days. I wasn't around for the first one, but for the much later ones, they're a lot of fun. Yeah. How many years till rest MCC? Who knows?
So we've seen how Rasa got started, but where do you guys think Rasa will go in the future? Do you have?
Oh, I thought you
do
were
wanna
going to say,
just keep
when does
making-
Rasa end?
When's it done?
What do you know?
Should
Do
we
you
call
think-
it quits?
Do you
Yeah,
think
I
they
think
should
that's
keep doing little
done.
maps, or do you think is there like a big project that you want to do in the future? What's the way forward?
There's been a lot of ideas in the mix. I remember like I even had this one idea for a show, and it was really cool, but it was so ambiguous for where we were then. But like we always have really cool ideas. Pardon?
Is that the spacey one, being vague?
No, it was the haunted house one.
Vaguely remember that, yeah.
Don't
Yes.
spoil it just in
I-
case we end
I-
up doing it.
No, I
Yeah.
want to spoil it because it's a really cool idea, and maybe we could pull it off nowadays. But back then, like, it involved a lot of scheduling and everything. But like, we always have these really cool ideas that we could come up with. So who knows where Rasa could go? We could probably make our own game, or we could run our own real life show or something. Like, this group has so much potential that anything is possible. Like, at one point, I remember we're in a meeting, and I remember Ranger saying, like, in this group, it feels like anything could happen. Like, we could really make game show its own esport or something. But it's just, we're like, let's not have high hopes, but let's just keep going down this path, and who knows? And then after that, we went into marketplace maps, and we went into collaborating with Mojang and everything. So yeah, like I have no idea what's in the future for us, but I do want to see it and sort of be a part of it. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think it is a case of just keep doing what we're doing and see where it takes us. I mean, right now we're focusing on well, I won't say too much, obviously, but our next marketplace project is in the works, and who knows from there. Keep going with Game Show if the opportunities keep presenting themselves. Maybe tackle new projects. I mean, we did even have an idea quite recently, in fact, like Jeremy alluded to actually make a game. Don't that's not me saying that we're releasing anything like that, but it's just stuff that
It's an idea.
Where's Jamie? Where are you off to, Jamie? Are you?
Oh,
And
you muted, I
it
think.
goes back to...
You couldn't hear you. Couldn't hear you, pal.
Why don't Rasa make a movie
everyone
or a
talk.
TV show?
But
Netflix
yeah,
series, we should get on the boat.
I think it is a case of just keep doing what we're doing, and yeah, just see where it takes us. And as Chelsea again said in the chat, I mean, the whole reason we're into marketplace, and I feel like I miss for not bringing this up so far. Someone mentioned earlier, this isn't our full-time job. Like, I know a lot of marketplace teams, if not all marketplace teams, other than us, that is their careers. That is their jobs. This is a passion project, I think has been the term that's been brought up already. And any profit that we make from marketplace mats goes to funding meetups, which is why we were able to do the Big House meetup this summer and get a lot of people over and all that. And for at least for the moment, that is how we are going to continue to operate. We continue to not be not for profit, and any profit that we make goes back into the business to make our life scene and projects and output much better and easier. And of course,
And even
first
some of the
and
money goes
foremost,
to
funding
charity.
meetups and seeing each other in real life.
Yeah.
Because we're all one big happy family at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
as
I think
Jeremy
Ignore the vlogs.
said.
That's
don't
how we
get
show
paid
love,
for our
Johnny.
suffering.
Yeah.
It's a very unique position we're in terms of the marketplace, because we get to create projects that we are passionate about. Not, I mean, obviously, you know, we are thinking of how do we make maps that sell, but it's also what do we want to work on, because we don't have to worry about paying people's wages at the end of the day, which is a very unique position. But
why we're happy to announce our upcoming map. One block sky block with dragons. How many more keywords? Models? Models plus.
I think
Yeah,
that's
everyone's
a
got a
joke
plus in it
that
these days.
every single marketplace team makes, because I don't even remember in Blockworks we make up these map ideas. Like, well, if we did Skyblock, but we add dragons, and it's a lucky block, and you just add all these ideas, because that's what's trending at the time, and you see all these teams doing it. Like, this is so dumb.
I mean,
like,
well,
what?
I would also
So
like
cute.
to announce at this time our new subscription service, Rasa Plus, where you get early access to our maps that aren't finished.
Oh gosh,
It's
that's a lot.
exclusive behind the scenes talks.
Adam, that's just called joining Rasa.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Because
I want to play
Join
non-go.
Rasa, pay us money, and do work for us.
even though Heistmeisters took so long to produce, mainly Grant, produced some never seen before tech in that of doing procedural generation, because we were able to take the time to do that, which I think is at the heart of sort of Rasa's.
What do you mean? It's a museum that just changes.
Oh yes, sorry.
Can we say that Grant is an absolute beast? Like, oh my goodness, I don't know how he does it sometimes, because like I can say that because I work with the guy most of the time, especially on Gameshow. We work on a lot of games together. But like Noi, I do the building and he does the redstoning, and like it's absolutely incredible because he was working on Heistmeisters, and then we were also preparing for a live show. So Grant and I let's just work on this game, and we work on other games behind the scenes, and he's able to do that and also work on this really complex idea of a game. It boggles my mind sometimes, and I go play the game like, wow, like I know that Grant didn't do the whole thing, but like he did the majority of the random generation. Oh, sorry. Ooh. But yeah, no, I think everyone on this team is really awesome in what they do. Even Andy, like in everything that Andy does, is absolutely incredible.
Jeez.
But no,
welcome to the Comedy
Man's not
Central
said a
roast
word
of
in about
Andy.
20 minutes, and he's getting shots fired at him.
this
Poor
just
Andy.
turned into a roasting Andy session. I'm so sorry, but you
You're
roast
not
the ones
saying
that you
Andy's
love.
an
Carry
apologist.
As you were.
Yeah, but everyone has a role to play, and it's really cool how things turn out. I think, okay, as a favorite memory with Andy, if we're going down that track.
No. I
Every
don't want the
single
picky
time.
conversation.
No. Well, I just want to say this. It's just that. No, this is just like a really funny memory that I have. Like every single time that we did a live show or a pre-recording, Andy and I would play chess, but we played chess horribly. And I don't know if Andy didn't know that he didn't know how to play chess, but I was like going on, I'm like, yeah, I don't know how to play
Your
chess.
nice
either.
memory still calls him out.
I know, but it was just hilarious. And Conrad, he knows how to play chess and be watching, and like, what are you guys doing? Stop. But
amazing.
No, those are my favorite memories. Playing chess before a live show. It was a lot of fun.
Also,
Anyways.
just for the record, Andy, Sporty is firing shots at you over the fact you have an arena print in your background.
I have an arena. Well, I see a Thieves arena. It's
Yeah.
R.I.P. in peace.
R.I.P.
Anyways, are there any other questions? I don't want to keep roasting Andy.
No, that's okay. Yeah, so
So anyway, my favourite thing about Andy.
so quickly going back on
My
What if you
least
don't
favorite
have
thing
one?
about Andy.
quickly going back on things that like where money goes in the company. You guys donate a ridiculous amount of money to Cube this year. How much do we have the final number off the top of our
Oh,
head? How much
God,
was the final number? Because it
It'll
was
be-
like
it'll be a
four
grand
So we-
wasn't it?
plus
Yeah, well, we did £1,000 during the show, and then we did
120 in the first
Dollars.
time.
then plus however much we gave for people completing our parkour course.
Yeah,
it
maybe
was
Chelsea
tweeted
knows.
out. Chelsea
That was
probably can find the
another-
numbers quicker than I can.
How much was it for the pop? It was about 50 or 60.
It was $5 per person that completed
A
it.
tweet we got, yeah.
Jesus, please hold. Well, we can wait.
I'm trying to scroll back to see if we
I
tweeted
think
it.
it
I'm
was
sure we
somewhere on
did.
the order of 1,000.
So we $60 was we donated $60 for the parkour. So you said 120 for the dome.
Yeah,
so that
and
makes
then
it
1,000.
1,200. No, 1,180.
1,180.
Yeah, that's what Chelsea
about
says.
1,200.
Yeah.
Just
About
says
It's a decent
1,180.
chunk.
Good lord.
Yeah.
That's a lot
No,
of money.
we love obviously we've done charity streams in the past for special effect as well as other charities that we supported. Macmillan Cancer
Macmillan.
Support.
Children
We
Need.
did one for Endometriosis UK earlier this year
We
as
did
well.
as well.
Comic Relief. I think we did Children in Need at some point as
Yeah.
well. Charity.rashstudios.net. And you can see all the charity stuff that we've done. So yeah, I mean those charity streams as well. I guess this is kind of where you were wanting us to go with charities in your question, Nathan. And
Yeah.
but yeah, sorry for jumping in there. But
That's okay. Go ahead.
But yeah, we love doing the charity aspects of our team, of our studio, I was going to say of our production, but yeah, of us. We love doing charity stuff, whether it's through Cubed or doing stuff ourselves. And I think even those charity streams, they're mainly just an excuse for us to sit and play games and be funny-ish on.
Yeah, I always try and tune
on our
in for the
stream for
chat
12
box at
hours.
the end.
Yeah, the Jackbox is always
Yes.
always good towards the end, and just having that presence, and it's great that we've been able to keep that going and have as many people donate as well when we do those charity streams as well. It's awesome to see, and I suppose we are in that very fortunate position that we do have an output that makes money. And for us to say that, yeah, we do this not just for ourselves to fund meetups, etc., but we do it for good causes as well. It's a nice little it's a nice little thing to have.
For sure. So it's been an hour and a half. I don't want to keep you guys too long. So
I'm enjoying this.
That's okay. I appreciate that. So
Super fun AFK with Vasa.
yeah, I'm gonna move on to some more off-topic, questions about just anything in general, because we've talked a lot about Rasa. I think it's time to move
dear.
on.
Can I just read the numbers quickly?
Go for it.
So the last cubed was $1,180. That converts to £1,101.85, and total over all the charity streams that we've done, £5,027 raised for 6 charities over 10 different streams.
That's amazing. Pat yourselves on the back for that. Genuinely, that's
Can I just
amazing.
say something off topic? So, you know how at the start of the stream we said, oh yeah, don't
Since
show
2016.
promise, otherwise you'll tie yourself into something that, like, I don't know, like you didn't sign up for, but it's also great. When we're having this conversation about, like, the future of Rasa, now I've been like pinged into projects on Slack that Chelsea's added me to, so we'll see what happens in the future, I guess. I don't know, but I just find this absolutely hilarious. Thank you, Chelsea.
Awesome. So I've over the course of the 1.5 hours of the show, there's been some interesting questions that have come up. One that's been standing out to me, I have to ask, is from Cyberchamp. Cyberchamp asks, "Where is Bez? He looks like he's in Eiffel 65's house."
Blued. Yeah, no. It was when it was
just no.
It was when it was just me, Nath, and Adam were in here just before it started. And Adam came in. I think you were in like a lovely purple background.
Well, it
and I
was
suddenly
blue,
remembered-
but my camera makes it look purple.
And I suddenly realised that I also have colour changing lights that I never utilise. So I said I'll try and go for the Rasa colours, and orange just looked really bad. So I decided to go for blue. Let me see whether I can.
Trying to work out if I
Like-
should take
oh,
offence at that or not.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind
Like
of gone for
orange just
If
looks-
anything could be more
just
orange.
looks bad in my. I mean, it's not as bad as all red, but that's why I went for blue.
Oh, gee, oh
God,
god,
you're
it
really
has turned
It's
blue.
very
There we
blue.
go.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Amazing. I don't know if he's still here, but Real Steven PSW asks, "What's your favorite food? Tony won't be used for future briberies." Not sure what he means by that, but I'm gonna ask it. So should we go from left to right? So Benedict, let's go first. What's your favorite food?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not just trying to say this to suck up to Aaron, but the smash burgers that we had in our meetup in the summer, that Aaron had, was some of the best food I think I've had in a long time.
Says the man who takes sauce off of his burger.
Wow,
Plain
we're back to calling
dry
people out.
burgers. Honestly.
Sorry, by the way, chat. Bears, that's what I meant. So.
Yeah, Bez, thank you. I remember when we were in London last year as well. We went to a restaurant on our restaurant bar on our last night, and I had to take Bez up to the bar to order for him because he couldn't order through the app because he couldn't remove the sauce and the salad that he wanted. He just wanted a plain ass burger. Basic bitch.
I can't say anything. I'd probably be the same, to be honest. Like I like some cheese or some bacon on there, but other than that, I don't.
Nah, that's too much for
else.
Bez.
Oh no,
That's
keep
too much
cheese
for
and
Bez.
cheese and bacon. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, good. So we're in the same boat. We're in the same boat.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not difficult.
Alright, Adam, let's hear from you. What's your favorite food?
God, it's a big question. Oh, I really don't know. I like a lot of food. You know, clearly by the, I mean, it doesn't really show on camera because I place my camera strategically that you don't see my belly.
Same for the mic.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of food. Really big food enjoyer. Am I? I'd have to say, give me a good burger. I mean, those smash burgers, like Bez said. I know Aaron's in chat now as well, and I'm not just saying that because he's here, but they were amazing. I love a big old burger.
Blink twice if you're being held captive.
Yeah, Aaron's really scary, so we're just.
And a good pasta meal as well. I know Chelsea even made a spag bol on one of the nights we were at the house as well, so that was pretty good. I love some pasta and love some burgers.
Nice. On to you, Jeremy. What's your favorite food?
I'm a lasagna man. I love lasagna and I love spaghetti. I tend to cook those most often.
Sorry.
Like,
spaghetti?
what is it to cook? Spaghetti.
Spaghetti?
Spaghetti. I forget about my accent. It's weird. When I'm hanging around Rasa, I forget about my accent. And I remember one time I was building a deck somewhere and everyone thought I was saying. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. But it brings
shine
up
up my
funny
geek.
moments. Yeah, there we have a quotes channel, and I swear one of them it has to do with a deck.
Lots
Oh, wow.
of them have to do with dicks, generally in that quote channel.
Well, yeah, but not all of them are said by me, thank goodness. So
There's some.
yeah, there is just some weird ones from me, to be honest. But I'm not the weirdest person in Rasa. I think that award goes to Ashley. I don't know. Yeah.
Whoa.
I thought you were teeing that up for a.
Wow.
Okay,
I'm
the thing is, I have this friendship with Ashley. I can
Not
say
even here
that,
to
okay?
defend herself, Jeremy. What you doing?
Let's hope the
pal?
VOD doesn't get
I
shared in
know.
the Discord.
Wow.
Yeah,
But everyone
I feel like
has.
talking about quotes anymore might ruin the reputation we've built up over the past 90
Yeah,
minutes.
no, let's not discuss them. But they're just hilarious. No, it's bringing that up. Like, this is a tangent, but like it's sort of amuses me that like when we work on projects, it's the Americans and then the British work on it afterwards. So it's like these little two different teams. Although sometimes, I'm asleep and, everyone works on it while I'm asleep. But I just find it amusing. So most of the time it's just me, Grant and Ashley and Ingate's just all on a call, just ripping into each other. And it's absolutely hilarious. But I won't say more, otherwise I'll run out of reputation. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, Jamie, your go.
I will preface my answer by interjecting and saying, Jeremy, you are already being called out in the quotes channel.
Yeah.
I don't even want to look.
I do.
Favorite food was it?
Favorite food, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've got to stick to type and say a pizza.
Same.
Hey!
I know it's basic, but absolutely same.
So it'll either be a pretty standard margarita or number of cheeses pizza, or maybe like a spaghetti and meatballs type thing. I do quite
Pizza?
like spaghetti and
What?
meatballs.
Spaghetti and meatballs pizza.
No, not on the. Jesus, no.
Wow.
What are
Really
you?
pushing the boat out.
Who-
Wow.
What do you put on your pizzas?
Yeah, it's
'Cause
what I'm
I don't
asking
put
you.
spaghetti and
You put
meatballs on.
spaghetti and meatballs on your pizza. You just
No.
said it.
No, sir. Those are two separate meals. I'm really adventurous. I have two options, and neither of them is a spaghetti and meatballs pizza.
Good, good.
Knob.
Okay, and finally, Andy, you'll go.
Just whatever I've eaten that day, really, Nath. I'll be honest. Tell you what.
I'm with Andy
specifically
on this.
Today,
I'm with Andy.
my favourite food are the Lotus biscuits. Not the square, not the rectangular ones. You know, that
Ooh.
come with a coffee. Not those ones. Have you had the it's like a Lotus biscuit, and then there's a bit of a Biscoff, and then there's another biscuit.
I've
like a
not, I've
custard
not had
cream.
any kind of premium biscuit experience
That's
in my
it.
life.
Sounds amazing.
You'll have to
I'm
bring
missing
some of
out.
these to the
Really
next
good.
meetup.
I'd
Yeah, I
recommend.
gotta
I
check 'em
will.
out.
I'd recommend. So that is until midnight tonight my favourite food.
Wow.
Is that all you've
Amazing.
eaten today?
So many
Some
good questions
biscuit.
coming in, by the way. If you want to ask another question, exclamation mark ask, followed by your question in chat.
I still
Going
can't
by
believe I've
that
been
logic,
quoted.
the McCrispy from McDonald's. Well, that's the only thing I've had to eat today.
Yeah, I like to ask people what their go-to McDonald's order is, because you can learn a lot about people that way. Like I've had the
See,
same
I don't
since
really
I
have
was
a
a kid.
go-to at all.
Mine is
I
always
have a
just
go-to.
9 nugs, large fries, and then maybe a milkshake if I'm feeling.
I
like
have a
it.
go-to
I'm so
Subway
basic.
order. Everyone has a go-to Subway order.
Mm.
Mm.
But I don't
I've
have a
actually never been
go-to.
to a Subway. Is that bad?
What?
Yeah, is that bad?
What?
I like my sandwiches
Good choice, Nick.
boring.
Didn't know we
and
were doing
basic.
a podcast with that monster.
I'm leaving. What?
Wow, I didn't know it was that surprising. My girlfriend recently ordered from there, and it was just completely messed up. So now I don't really have a reason to
That's
go.
why you go in because they make it in front of you, and if you get it, if they get it wrong, then you can say no, I didn't want that.
I'd feel bad, honestly. I would feel awful going over and saying, actually, you did that wrong. Do that again. I'd feel so bad.
I've
But
done
that's
that.
so
Well, I've not
nice.
done. I've not. I don't say it like
That's
that.
why
I don't
you
say it
don't
like
phrase
I'm a
it
dick.
like that.
I say, oh, sorry, I didn't ask for
Actually-
peppers. I asked for,
Yeah.
I asked for
But you
onions.
make the sandwich. They just well, not you, but they make the sandwich for you. Just tell them what to do. Sort of like a haircut. Just like
Yeah.
you can tell them like, oh, this is how I want it, and they make it that way. So
I'd be too
like,
scared, honestly.
exactly.
I want to be like overly polite, which is quite rare for London, honestly.
Then just apologise before correcting them.
I guess,
It's
yeah,
something different with
Sorry,
their
I
haircuts.
asked for this, not this.
yeah,
If they mess up with a haircut, you can't really, I'll just glue it back on.
yeah. True.
Well, it's
true.
like
They don't
you
seem
know, there's
Paddington
some
too.
sauces. Like if they add the sauce, like oh sorry, I didn't mean that sauce. Well, they can't really take the sauce off.
Then,
Like just scrape it off the sandwich.
yeah, I don't know. Every time I've been to a Subway, they've asked, as they're about, like, before they do it, and this, like, do you want any sauces? And then,
Yeah.
as they're reaching to it, you can confirm it.
Okay, so a question from Chelsea has come in. Chelsea asks,
God.
"Can Andy show us something interesting from the room he's in?"
Oh yes.
I mean, what is there not?
I
that's
feel,
not
I feel this
interesting
needs to
in it?
zoom in on his camera.
Yeah, I was going to.
I
Hold
was,
on. There we go.
Yeah.
What should we go with? I was in someone from the company that I work for, when they first saw this background, said I looked like I was in the office of Indiana Jones. Mainly because behind this picture here are 3 more globes.
Wow.
Why? Where are you
4 globes
traveling?
there. Someone asked me what this was at work the other day. Because it looks like an arse. That's because it is an arse. It's an arse of 3 bears.
Oh
so
my god,
that's the interesting
that's so
thing I'll
cute.
show you.
That's so cute.
I thought it was like a jug or
Um,
something. Like that's what it looked like
Doesn't
from
look it.
afar.
I have so many questions.
But yes, I mean you will wherever you look, there is random shit.
We
I
need
think is
a
the-
Rasa vlog where we just go, we do a massive room tour, and it's only Andy.
we
I
all
like
just
it.
go to Andy's house.
Yeah. We'll do,
Just
we'll
judging
do
by
an
the size of
AFK.
that room, I don't think we'd all fit in that room. Looks tiny.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
you'd be able to fit us all in, but I don't
Yeah.
think we'd be able to stand.
We're going from the big house to the small room.
That's all we can afford for the next meetup. We spent all of our money.
20 people in Andy's room.
I can't remember who asked it, but because it's not on my dashboard anymore. But someone did ask quickly, just going back on Rasa, how have the meetups kind of evolved over time? Like, what was the first meetup? Because we've seen the latest one. It's a massive house that you have all to yourself.
Well,
So
I mean,
what was like? How did it start?
so I think the
Very
the
first one was
first
Insomnia.
Yeah, Insomnia is people were obviously, like, back in the day, as we mentioned, we were part of the Noxsquad community, and Noxsquad always had a booth at Insomnia for maybe until I think I-58 was maybe the last one they had. I might be wrong on that.
No, you're
But
right.
some of us would just say, all right, we'll go see the Noxsquad, and then obviously meet up with people, and we became friends like that. And for a long time, it was just Insomnias that we went to. Even when the Noxsquad stopped going, we still went as a kind of an excuse to go see each other. I'm trying to think what the first one would have been without Insomnia. Oh God, I'm trying
in
to
London or
Nox
Manchester.
Crew London.
Manchester, it might have been, yeah.
Ooh,
We
Nox
went
Crew
to
London was before that.
Oh no, yeah. Okay, so
Noxsquad
no,
London
so
was
I'm
2018.
still in the Vale of Noxsquad. So yeah, you're absolutely right. London, to go see the Noxsquad was in 2018, as Chelsea said. And yeah, I think at that point we realized, oh, we don't actually need Insomnia to go see each other. We just maybe once or twice a year find somewhere to go. I mean, 2019, we went to Manchester for was it a whole week? I can't remember, or was it just like a
No,
weekend?
that
Wasn't
was-
it? It's like a Friday.
I think
Saturday,
that was a
Sunday.
Thursday to Tuesday.
Okay.
That was actually the tweet is somewhere on our channel profile, but that is while we were releasing Game Show Season 1.
It was.
So there's
yeah.
a wonderful video that I'm so glad I got at the time, because we used to do them as premieres on the Saturday
Oh,
when they
we
released.
lost Andy.
Oh no!
He said he'll be
Back
back
in
in
2
2
minutes, he said.
seconds.
Oh, didn't hear that.
He said it in the chat. He didn't say it out loud.
Oh,
Because
In our group chat, not Twitch chat.
yeah, we were releasing Season 1. There's a wonderful video from the intro of that particular episode while it was releasing and being broadcast live as a premiere, where the opening commentator joke, can you remember what it was, Adam?
So it was coming to you live from somewhere in the northwest of England. And then Jamie swings the camera around and we all go, way! Because we wrote that specifically because we knew that episode was going to release when we're in Manchester.
We'd worked out when it would line up, and so that's the one we did then. So yeah, Manchester for a few days.
Yeah, and then as Chelsea said, she's got everything. She's just got a fountain of knowledge.
They've all got photos, that's why.
Yeah. So yeah, Manchester. Then we went to EGX. A few ones around the end of 2019. I think we went to. There was a few of us who went to Birmingham for Aaron's birthday, and then obviously 2020 happened. Boo. We were meant to actually have a couple, or we were meant to have one at the start of 2020 in March. We all said, "Oh, March 2020," and then COVID happened, and it was for Chelsea's birthday. We were going down to London, so we ended up delaying that until the summer of 2021 when we were allowed to travel again and meet up and be in the same room as each other. But yeah, I think pretty much after sort of maybe after Manchester, I think that was when we realized, oh yeah, we don't actually need to go to Insomnia. And obviously we've been back a couple of times since, but it's not the main reason. And like we said, it's just kind of evolved from there. And then that's the whole reason why, like I said earlier, why we do the marketplace, so we can fund these kind of meetups. And the one that we just had over the summer there in the big house was the combination of all those couple of years of work over making the first couple of maps that we did on the marketplace, Jungle Royale and Crab Cove Carnival, to to rent out that big house for the week and fly over some of the Americans to come and join us. So yeah, I think, like I said earlier, that's still going to be our main focus for the most part, and it can only get bigger and better from there.
Nice. So we have some more good questions here. Sportycraft asks, "Is Bez evil?" Very important question.
Yes, next question.
Good
I think
answer.
there might be.
You're the boss.
Well-
Chelsea asks, "It certainly evolved."
Might be winning.
Says it certainly evolved over years to being less. Oh my god, Bez, you went really red for a second there. What happened? Sorry, it distracted me.
So it's because he's
It's
evil.
my evil mode.
He's got evil
This
lighting.
is how he looks during game
Bez
shows.
has gone
Like,
evil.
You don't want to miss
It's-
the beers.
It's his evil brother.
Obey.
Chelsea
Obey
says,
the
"It certainly
showtime."
There's his
evolved over
evil
years to
twin
being
called
less."
Bay. B-E.
Oh, Zeb.
Like an
Zeb.
apostrophe.
Backwards.
If you don't obey the show times, then you get cut. Like, cut.
Chelsea
Really
says
messed
she's
with my
leaving.
eyes
Bye,
now.
Chelsea. Thanks for coming. She also asks, obviously we can still answer it. What is the best Taylor Swift song? I don't know.
None of
I don't
them.
think I have a favorite.
None of them.
I've only listened. I've
No, that's
I
conversation.
occasionally listen to Taylor Swift. Not out of choice, but when the new album came out, I thought I need to listen to this because otherwise Chelsea's, I'm not going to hear the end of it. Chelsea's going to listen to the new Taylor Swift album. So I listened to Midnight, as did a couple of other people in Rasa, and probably my favourite one there is probably Anti-Hero.
Nice. I've not listened
Romeo
to it.
and
so
Juliet was
I'm
on
gonna
Band
hear
Hero
some,
on the Wii.
What was that?
Romeo and
talking about
Juliet was
Taylor
on
Swift?
Band Hero on the Wii.
Oh man, I never had
So-
Band Hero on the Wii, but
Alright,
I might have to pick it up.
It's actually called Love Story.
Oh, is
and-
it?
Yeah.
Oh no. Now I've been outed as not being a true Swiftie. Whatever will I do?
I like how you're enough of a fan to know that's what their fan base is called.
Yeah, 'cause I
Spend
didn't
enough
even know
time
that.
around Chelsea and Stuart to know that that's what
Fair,
the fan
yeah.
base is called.
I don't have a favorite, but I'm sure my girlfriend does. She likes Taylor Swift. I have a couple questions about I'm a Celeb in the queue. Cyberchamp
Go on,
asks, if you were in I'm a Celeb, what challenge would you want to do the most?
Make Bez eat a penis.
Yeah, if we can make someone else do something.
I don't watch the show because I find it like really gross. The concept of celebrities eating bugs and stuff, I can't stand it personally. But I don't know what I would pick.
I mean, the easy
I've never
one to
watched
say
that.
is the Celebrity Cyclone, which is like the slip and slide
big slip and
kind of
slide.
thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean, anything other than that, I'd like to do like like they do skydives at the start. There was a challenge on the first episode as well for this one where they had to like walk off a plank at the edge of a building high up, and sort of lean over it. They called it the ledge. It's the great
Michael
scary name.
McIntyre's The Ledge.
Yeah, but they had to walk along a plank and then sort of lean off while holding onto a thing and then let go to win whatever the thing was. I think it was just a meal for camp, but yeah, don't want to eat bugs. Actually, no, technically I have eaten bugs before.
Oh no.
Me and Aaron did
Context?
an Insomnia. I can't remember which. One of the more recent ones we went to before COVID. Me and Aaron did the Bear Grylls experience that's there, and at one point, like you do, sort of like the main thing we wanted to do was like the high ropes course that was outside, and we kept seeing it all weekend. And we're like, oh, we should do that, and then we booked it. But it turns out you need to do like what they call basic training first, which was going around like this little bit, and you got told, oh, you do this, do that, and all that. There was a bit where we got blindfolded and taken through like a bit. We had to trust each other, etc. And then we had to eat a bug of some description. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't alive. Don't worry, it wasn't alive, but it was pre-dead.
That makes it better.
Pre-killed. Pre-killed bug.
Oh yeah, these are good ideas with the cyclone and stuff. You guys should
How
not
am I
necessarily
only
eating
hearing
bugs.
about this, Adam? First time now, 3 years later.
Wait, no, we did tell you about this.
I
did
never
say
knew
that.
about
A
this.
vlog
Yeah, we did.
around
I'm
buying
pretty sure
bugs?
we told you. I'm pretty sure we told you. Yeah, we had to eat a bug of some kind.
Not me. I never
We
knew.
would have.
What the hell?
You just don't remember that.
No. I edited the vlog for it. It never came
It wasn't
up.
in the. I don't think we said it on camera, but
I remember someone going to the store buying bugs and said that they were going to eat them, but I don't remember seeing if that we saw on camera them eating it. I don't know.
oh,
There you
no,
go. That's a
someone
long
did eat-
hidden secret
I can't
revealed
remember.
on live on
It's
the
an
AFK
exclusive.
Ressa, we eat
podcast.
bugs.
But yeah, the cyclone idea and the skydiving, you guys should do that next for your next meetup. I'm down to watch that.
Wasn't for Jamie's wedding? We found out that there was a skydiving.
We did a
course,
skydive
like,
for Jamie's wedding.
Oh my
there was
God.
a skydiving field like right next to the wedding venue. And
Wait, was it? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
you should do. Yeah, well, it was right. It was near the venue at least.
I'll have you know, I
Um,
did not see one person skydiving that weekend. I think if it was a skydiving field, we'd have heard someone.
Well, why was I looking up a skydiving field with Jamie? Because he's definitely said he was going to send everyone up on his wedding to do the skydiving.
No idea.
I would
Logic
also
says I'd pay to watch
skydive.
Jamie skydive.
Yeah.
How much
Mm,
is my question?
Oh, it's not happening, so
Too
you can
much.
name any number and it's not happening. I know
let's
my
see.
limits, and they involve staying inside the aeroplane. I'm not full of helium, Stuart. That's not how that works.
Do you know, one thing I love, I've never done a skydive before, but obviously when you do one, you do like what they call a tandem skydive, so they have like someone strapped to the back of you. What I always like is that the instructors always say, we'll go on three, like 3, 2, 1, go. But they always go on 2. They'll do 3, 2, and then just go. But the
That'll
reason they
terrify
do
me.
that is because if you do the full countdown, if someone's scared, they're just going to grab the edge of the plane and that's just going to hurt. That's just that you're going to injure yourself or something bad could happen.
Well, now I know
so,
whenever
yeah.
I were to go skydiving to hold on to.
just hold it on 3. Just like
God.
3. No.
3. No, I'm staying here.
No.
Okay, speaking of I'm a Celebrity, Chelsea also asked, if you were in I'm a Celeb, who would get eliminated first and who would be king of the jungle? That is a good question.
So
Who
it's a
wants to go?
popularity contest, so obviously I'd win.
Damn,
Sure,
we
it's
really
fine,
are
it's
feeding the ego
Like-
today, aren't we?
Yeah.
Note that no one is brave enough to correct him.
Yeah,
The
well,
thing is-
That's why I'm the
Mr.
alpha
Money
male of
Man.
this group,
Yeah.
which is
I was in a Minecraft the mole game show, and I was the first person eliminated. And I sort of knew oh yeah, this is gonna be fun, but I'll be like the first person eliminated, and I was the first person eliminated. So whenever it comes
Was
to
it fun?
shows, I might be the first person eliminated.
Was it
I
fun?
know, I'm
though?
just being honest. Huh?
Was it fun?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I made new
good.
friends and stuff.
In
It
that
was
case,
great.
You're correct. 2
Yeah.
for 2.
I did that
Yeah,
show too,
like-
and I was first eliminated as well.
Yeah, I don't know, you meet friends and it's a show. You're there for a few hours and then you get kicked off. I'm like, oh dang it, I wish I was there for longer. But I did enjoy the diary videos. You had to talk about this is what I went through. Fun times. Yeah.
So I think the answer to the question is I lose and Adam wins.
I
Finalize.
thought we
that.
said I lose. I said I'll be the first one eliminated. I don't know.
Never mind. Jeremy loses. You know what? If you're so desperate to lose, Jeremy, I will step in.
Andy, I want to lose. Give
Okay,
me the
fine.
Oh,
win.
we're also
I want the
forgetting
win
that Jamie
thing.
raised his hand.
I raised my hand immediately for who would lose.
Yeah.
I'm a Rasa member. Get me out of here.
Quick,
Yes.
note it down.
I'm getting bossed around by Chelsea. Get me out of here.
What? You said it, not me. You said it.
It's fine.
We all
She's
had
gone to
the same
dinner. We can
ideas.
say what we
She's
like.
not here.
Yes. Oh my
No one
goodness.
could have
I
won.
remember that one time. No.
You
Oh,
do
but
know she will
Stuart's here.
watch
And
the
Stuart
vlog
might
back.
tell her. Oh.
There's this
Hi,
one thing that we
Chelsea.
Yeah, Stuart is
always
here.
say
Can you
about
just
Chelsea.
get Stuart to go for his dinner as well? You just send everyone away for their dinner, and then we can.
And
then
then
we'll
the
get to the
podcast
juicy
really
bits.
starts. We actually have been just
Yeah.
covering the entire thing, but when everyone in Ressa leaves, we can really get into the nitty gritty. like the
So,
inner secrets
Sean
of Rasa.
says, speaking of things that people have said around Rasa, Sean asks, "What's your favorite Rasa quote?" Safe work, of course. But
God.
I wanna,
Oh
No.
goodness.
honestly, go ahead and
No.
give us your weirdest, wildest quote you can think of.
Should we just like give our own quotes? Because I do remember some
I
of
don't
mine.
even know.
If you
Yes.
want to, yeah.
You know, don't out anyone else, please.
I'm not gonna
Yeah, do
out
your own,
anyone
man.
else
What ones
because
are-
some of them are awful.
Yeah.
Let me
Have a
look.
look
I'm
through
just
your own.
scrolling back up and going to like pick a random one because there's
Because I think it's
there
funny.
there are a lot. There are a lot of fucking quotes in this channel. I mean, this has been going for oh god, how long has this channel been going for? It's
We
been
used to
going
have a
while.
Slack channel, but we don't have that anymore. So we moved it over to Discord. But there are a lot more.
Oh,
There's
stupid things
there's one of me from earlier this year saying, titties are good.
Nice. Hold on, I'm trying to find mine.
It's stupid things as well, like when I accidentally said to Jammer that I had a 6-legged cat. I don't. I have a 3-legged cat, which is still not the regular number of legs, but it's not 6.
I have one
That's probably
saying
the-
hey, I have one saying, "Hey Bez, old pussy is better than no pussy."
I do not remember that.
I vaguely remember that.
I've just looked through this quotes channel. I've had to use my phone because I have streamer mode on for PC. Apparently, Bez in September last year said, "Nath, show us your chest." What is the context for that one? Was that the game show?
That's the beauty of the quotes channel. There is no context.
I don't remember. I remember
No.
saying that,
I would
but I
love to know
don't
that.
remember the text.
For some
I love
reason,
it.
most of my quotes is becoming aware that
Oh,
there's
you're
a quotes
in the quotes
channel.
channel. I forgot about this now. You're in.
Yeah, I can see quotes and I can see private.
Oh
general chat.
gosh.
I
I'm
have one that says,
all
"I'm a
your
big
secrets."
burly Scottish man, and you can't stop me."
One of my
That's
quotes
good.
is
a good
computers
Twitter
can
bio.
have babies too. My nose just decided to have a period. Is one thing I said.
Nice.
Why would I not ride the snake? It's a zoo. What else am I supposed to do? Like, who cares about Rasta? That's one of my quotes.
Excellent.
Let people have fur. That's one of mine. Anyways, mine aren't
Amazing.
so
all
sensual.
for
Mine are
quotes
just
for today.
weird. That's all for quotes. Tune in next time for Rasta quotes. there is a next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any more questions before we wrap up, it's coming up to 2 hours. Drop them in chat with !ask. It's your last chance. Cyberchamp asks, out of all the mini games you've created for your Bedrock Marketplace maps, which one is your personal favorite? Do you have any personal favorite maps?
That's a
I
hard
can only
one.
think of Jungle Royale, really, because that's the one I worked on.
I liked Crab Cove Carnival because we got paid quite a significant amount to do that.
Yeah, but which minigame?
Oh, which
Minigames,
mini game?
yeah.
Okay,
Which
right.
mini
yeah,
game?
specifically
No, I can
mini
only
game.
think of
My
Jungle Royale
favorite map
minigames.
was the one.
The one that made us
I-
money.
I
Oh god, I
love
suppose you
the
have to
flagship.
pick, you have to pick from.
There were 10 in
Go
Jungle
on.
Royale and 11 total in Crab Cove. 4 headliners, 7 sideline.
To be honest, coming
In
to think of it,
Crab
I don't think I
Crab
have a
Grove?
favorite. I don't know.
Cop
I think that
out.
was just as
I
good.
liked Excavation from Jungle Royale, which was the
That
one
was a
where you
fun one.
start at the bottom of a pit and have to make it as far up as you can while the lava is rising.
What was the collecting crabs one in crab with the nets?
Crab grabbers.
Crab grabbers.
Grabbers.
That I weirdly remember enjoying playing that, play testing that quite a lot. But it being a fun map.
That sounds fun. I'll play Crab Grabber if I can pronounce it.
Crab Cove
Crab
Carnival.
Grabbers.
And you can get all of these on the Minecraft Marketplace.
Hashtag
I would say
Good app.
it might just be because I was the one that programmed it, but I really like Temple Endeavor from Jungle Royale. That was
yeah.
the parkour course looping one.
Oh god, I'd
where
be
you
no
can't-
good at that.
You, the main mechanic in multiplayer is that you can't get too far behind the leading player. So if you're like 2 sections behind, you're eliminated. It was interesting trying to work that out, and then just playing it is a fun course.
That sounds fun. I might check that one out.
And you can do it now on Jungle
On the
Royale on the
Minecraft
Minecraft
Marketplace.
Marketplace.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Sporty Cuff asks, when do I get the budget to run the tabletop series for the channel?
I mean,
You don't need a
you
budget,
have
do you?
enough board games, Ben. You can just do that.
Travel though. Got to get
I
people
don't
down
have a budget
there.
for anything.
Tabletop
do we?
Simulator.
Except for meetup.
Oh, no.
There's your answer. Sean also asks, what's your favorite Pokemon and why is it Ampharos?
I don't have one.
Ampharos? I've not heard of Ampharos. I'm googling this
Don't
one.
really.
What's the set of keys?
Oh god, I can imagine it, but I don't know what it's
Is
called.
it Eeks or something? Because half of them are they're just like their normal names but backwards.
Sean
isn't it?
says Klefki.
Yeah, it's not. My favorite isn't Klefki. It's a sentient set of keys.
I'll be boring and say Pikachu.
I've only started like the
I
only
don't play
time I've ever
Pokemon, so-
consumed anything Pokemon related is Friday, because I bought the new Pokemon and it's the first time I've ever played one. But in terms of what I know, my favorite is Snorlax because he's just so relatable.
Yeah,
Love him.
actually, yeah, that's fair enough.
Any other favorites?
Mr. Mime is very creepy in Detective Pikachu.
Yes,
The way
very
that
true.
they rendered that model is just all skin and all creepy.
Yeah, I don't like realistic Mr. Mime.
All skin, all fun.
Ugh.
Mr.
Welcome to
Mime.
Rassus Studios.
You're gonna change out professionally silly for all skin, all fun.
Okay, I have one final question in my queue right now, and it's from
jeez.
Rhino Dragon from ages ago, but I've held on to
Hmm.
it for this long. He asks, Benedict and Jeremy, where are your beards? I like how he didn't point out mine.
Being
I
called out
haven't
for
shaved
once.
in a while.
Yay. I like to shave because sometimes it grows in patches. I don't know. And plus, I go to work with someone who has a really awesome beard. I'm like, there's no way I can compete against that, so I might as well just shave. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm
So I was gonna
intimidating
get-
Jeremy.
I can't. Yeah, I can't compete with Jammy.
No, you
I mean, that's the
can't.
ultimate bit.
I just don't like how itchy.
Where's
beards
your
get.
beard, Nath?
I usually I go clean. I haven't shaved in a little while though.
Me neither.
By the time it starts getting like itchy, I'm just sick of it and I want it gone.
Bang! That's the same reason I shave. I don't care.
Yeah,
about that.
no, there's.
In fact,
it
I
just
was
gets a
gonna
bit too
shave this
tangly down
tonight.
here.
Yeah.
Let's do a shaving sesh. I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
join us on the
no.
after show. Wait, Adam's going to be shaving.
You can
Live
play
on
the
the
minigame
internet.
from 1-2 Switch. That's a shaving minigame.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what about
We
the
could do a
Noxsquad-
charity
the
event
Noxsquad
of
game
shaving
game?
Jammy.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not.
We're not doing
This
that.
is
I'm
not
not
a
live
game
streaming
game
me
called
shaving.
Yule Shave.
That is
We're not
and-
doing your shave.
not happening.
One time
Although you can
on the
get that
server,
on
I'm
my
like, what if we were to
OnlyFans.
bring that game to Noxsquad Gameshow, but we make it shaving jammy? It never came to life.
Maybe it'd be a good
Sadly.
like donation goal or something.
Like, yeah, like Noxsquad Gameshow, if we reach this donation goal, then we'll play shaving jammy.
Yep, Shammy will shave.
The game show
What?
game,
Shammy
not
will
he's
shave,
not gonna
Jammy will
shave. But,
live on stream. Amazing.
yeah.
Okay. And I think that's pretty much all the questions. So if there's anything you guys want to mention or shout out or anything
Me on
like that,
Twitter at CraftmanRL before Twitter implodes.
yeah,
Why does everyone think that? I don't know. Like,
because
For
it's just
reasons
one
that we
guy at the
can
top now.
explain.
It's terrifying.
We can explain more
I
detail.
hold out hope for Twitter.
he
but
made Tesla
dwindling.
and like, you know, SpaceX and everything. And if that went well, I don't know. Who knows?
Abo says, "Will you try out Sprint?" Yes. If I am forced onto
We need-
Sprint VG, I
We
will
need to
play
get you
Sprint
to
VG.
try sprint at some point.
Yes.
I
Have you
will
not
love
tested
to.
it?
I think I
Do you
did
not-
once, but I don't know if I did the whole thing.
Yeah.
well, based on your parkour spiral skills, I imagine we might be there for a while.
Yeah. that
Do you know
was-
what's so interesting now is that I was talking to Grant, like, why is Sprint so easy now? Like, we do it so quickly. And he was like, yeah, we can't test Sprint anymore because we're all too good. So we have to get outsiders to test it for us. I'm like, oh, this
Yeah,
is
whenever
Which
you
is why
leave,
the
you
people
just
that we
hit
have
me
come on
up,
it are
'cause
always
I'll be
so
there.
bad.
I'll
Like
be
Alex
there.
yeah,
is
like they're so
Ricky.
bad. I'm like, we have to simplify this. Like, this is so
You-
boring.
I was wondering where you were going with that, Rumple.
Well, I just thought you couldn't think we'd get through 2 hours of a massive podcast without mentioning Alice and her sprint key.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
lack thereof.
I
oh.
want to shout out the fact that the password to get into the video call room right now
Yeah.
is Alice Sprint Key.
But well, now everyone's just going to join the bloody
Oh, I
video
thought you meant
call,
like
aren't they?
password to get on the Noxsquad server.
Wow,
The Noxsquad
what's the
server.
point of a
Like, this is the
password?
password.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
No one has the link.
But no, I just found that so fascinating
Like side
recently because
poster.
we used to just test the games and like, oh yeah, this is fine. But now like we can't test the games because we're just gone so good at playing our own games.
Speak for
I
Well,
yourself,
just
hey,
find
Jeremy.
it so funny.
If you need people to test it out, I know a whole bunch of people who would probably be awful at it, including myself.
I know some people who are awful at the game.
Awful, completely. They haven't even played Minecraft before. Yeah.
We will make you regret picking us and letting us go on
Well,
the
no,
show.
we had that for one of the dress rehearsals. I think someone brought a friend on who hadn't played Minecraft in like a very long time, and they were very, very much novices.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Quite
That's not what you
amusing.
want when the games get very intense,
Mm.
No, it was only a dress rehearsal.
thankfully.
Yeah.
Okay,
dressing
well
rehearsals
that
are
is
fun.
pretty much all we have time for. Thank you everybody for joining us. Benedict, Adam, or Bearjoy, Jeremy, Jamie, Andy. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to come join us and talk about Rasa. And thank you Twitch chat for asking questions and sticking around, having us in the background while you play a different game, whatever you're doing. We really appreciate it.
Thank you
and-
for inviting us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, it's been fun.
No problem. It's been an honor having everybody on. And yeah, we'll see you guys later on. Bye.
Run with like a game
Yeah.
show. Bye.
Bye.
Go on, Andy. Go on. I want to see those hands.
Bye.
There we go.
Bye.
Yay!
Bye. Bye.